Ready Row USA, and I'm here with a couple of great guys from the Augusta Rowing Club, and we're talking about rebuilding rowing programs and clubs. So Shannon, our assistant producer, sorry, will be.
Oh, did I get a promotion?
You just got a promotion. Oh, I wasn't going to tell you until later. Oh, but you deserve it. You're the best, Shannon. We could not function without you. Even with the classroom bell that will ring in the background.
It will. It's authentic.
Yeah, because we always go too long, Anyway, it's Ready Row USA. We're talking about rebuilding rowing programs with Brad Holdren. Wave your hand, Brad.
I'm the pretty one.
You're the pretty one. And Jim Buckaloo. I think I got that Jim. Right.
The old one. The old one.
The old one.
No, Jim, that makes me the smart one.
Out of the dentist office, so if he says anything that sounds like he's on drugs, that's why.
Is he numbed to the?
He is.
To the world, yeah. Well, we could use being numb to the world once in a while.
We do kind of look like those two old Muppets that sit in the.
Mutt and Jeff. Remember Mutt and Jeff?
I do.
Yeah. Listen, we are going to get going here in a minute. We have to introduce the sponsors and all that stuff because they keep us on the air and we love them. And let's see, let me just roll the slides a little bit. We got me, Shannon, running the show. Kimberly Reynolds will be with us next week, I believe, for the news. And Brad and Jim are here to talk about rebuilding clubs from the Augusta Rowing Club. And shoot me if I say Atlanta, because I don't know, I'm confused.
Those are fighting words down here.
Sometimes I'm confused. We invite you to connect with Ready Row USA. We love having feedback from our viewers and listeners. We go live to YouTube, and also the audio is pulled out, and you can listen on any major podcast app we distribute to. All of them, I guess. You can listen for the episode hashtag that will be later on. So we're trying to trick you into listening further so that you will get all the goodies on all the info. And so toward the end of the show, we'll be giving you the episode hashtag. And hint, it relates to our topic.
And y'all, I am laughing at our comments. Cassandra Edick has named the Muppets. So you are Stettler and Waldorf, whoever chooses to be whom.
I don't know which is which. I'm the short, fat, bald one.
Okay. I think this is going to require a whole different show. I think.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
To settle this issue. Anyway, use the episode hashtag on social media, and you can win rowing gadgets, gear, and services. And we are distributed by the Rowing Chat Network. There are several, I think we're up to 5 podcasts now on different aspects of rowing, and we're the USA one, or kind of the more generalist one of the USA. There's a new one coming about coxing, and there's a nutrition one, and there's a, what's the other one? Oh, the Irish rowing.
The Irish one, I'm very excited about that.
I know, because St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, I thought you were going to Ireland.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
No.
Anyway, we are going to get started here. We love our sponsors. There, you can always find the current sponsors at rowing.chat/sponsors. And we often have deals and discounts at that site. You can just get all the info there. We'll have also the links in our show notes on your audio or video podcast app.
Sure.
Do you want to do Pregel? Because you can pronounce it so well.
Well, we need to check in with him. So those of you who are new to the show, Pregel is one of our wonderful sponsors, and they are in Europe right now. I mean, that's where they're based. And so I'm not sure how this coronavirus is affecting them, but assuming everything is great and grand, y'all, they have some great camps to go to this summer, and you can tie into one of their camps and to also compete with the Open Czech Masters Regatta, or you can do the World Rowing Masters Regatta that is in Austria. But Charlotte, have we gotten an update on that yet? Is that one happening?
There are some cancellations. I've got
Right.
a news item later. It's a lot of the Olympic and Paralympic qualification regattas in Italy were
Or
canceled, and
canceled for sure.
just canceled. So I don't think they're planning on rescheduling them. I don't know what they're going to do, but there's another announcement coming out in on the 17th. So
Well, assuming all of this gets cleared up and everyone is happy and healthy, Priegel is a wonderful place to go. You've
yeah,
got three kilometers in Brno. It's a beautiful place to row if you can make it. And
and
thank you so much for them.
yeah, thank you. I think that with the things that Italy closed down, this might be a place where people could go, depending on what develops in the next few weeks. So.
Hoping so.
Anyway, we've got news. Kim Reynolds may or may not be joining us, but I think she'll be back next week.
She's trying to log in, so we'll see if she
Okay.
makes it.
Oh, really nice. Okay, great.
Yeah.
She's got good thoughts.
She's lovely.
Out there in Chicago, and she rows for Recovery on Water,
Oh,
and
sweet.
and she works for the Chicago Fire Department. Chief.
Yeah, every morning she does 11 miles. I need to ask her what she's doing for 11 miles, but that's pretty amazing.
I know. She
Drives it.
exactly. So we are going to go into the news, and Shannon, do you want to take the first? Oh no, I
Sure.
guess
Yeah.
I did this one, so I pulled out this one because they
Good.
had it on our WhatsApp group. This is from the 10th of March, which is yesterday. The growing number of cases has caused some cancellations in the qualification regattas in Varese, Italy, and the one in Gavarati. I have no
Right.
idea how to pronounce those. Anyway, buckle up, everyone, and we're really sad about that. But I think we'll just get through this year and start again next year. And FISA and the Italian Rowing Federation and the three cities have been in regular contact since the outbreak began, and they have decided to take these measures. The executive committee, the Italian Rowing Federation, and these cities are Sabaudia, Varese, and Garavati. And the executive committee will also be meeting with IOC over the weekend, or this weekend, over the weekend, to discuss any more developments in Olympic qualifying or
I feel like it's the theme of everything everywhere
Well,
is wait for an hour and see what changes.
exactly. I mean, I don't know. My things have been kind of falling like flies in my town too. So
I was going to say,
Anyway.
you're kind of in the middle of a huge cluster up around Boston, right?
in Massachusetts, yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess. I'm not too worried personally, but what I'm worried about is people with medical conditions and elderly people. So
We've
sure,
lost
it's-
some of our spring training teams already. They're canceling trips and
wow.
moving trailers back north.
Yep, we're canceling regattas. And we just got a notification early this morning that we're going to cancel the youth regatta for next weekend up at Gainesville. So that's kind of a bummer. So I'm wondering, what all's going to keep coming.
Yeah, don't forget those banners, Shannon. And
Yes.
then we got the USS Harry Truman. What is this all about?
I'm super excited about this because I come from a really big military family. So there was a February's Concept 2 military challenge. They basically challenged folks in the military to a C2 race. So it was a month-long challenge. There were 168 military and veteran teams from all over the world, and they wanted to see who could row the most distance. And so these guys on the USS Harry Truman, they had 490 participants, and they rowed a total of, this is almost 19 million meters during the competition.
Over what
so
period of time?
a month long. So there were 47 service branches that participated, and it was the U.S. Navy, U.S. Army, the Air Force, Marines, and international militaries. And so 150 of Truman's rowers achieved more than 50,000 meters, and 17 rowers on this ship. On this ship, each contributed more than 200,000 meters in a month.
Awesome.
So
that is amazing.
I mean, I guess if you're out in the middle of nowhere, the Arabian Sea, you got a lot of time to erg. But I just
It
thought
helps
that's
you
cool.
keep your sanity.
Right. And in this case,
Really?
rowers, ergs float.
Yeah.
You know, the joke is ergs don't float, but
Oh,
they
right.
do right now.
On the carrier, they do. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. What's a bionic
Right.
arm?
So this is a cool story out of Ireland because, you know, it's March. This young man, Owen Barry, he's 17. He's actually a rower at the Skibbereen Rowing Club, and we will be interviewing Kieran McCarthy next week, actually, about his book about that club. But this young man was born without a hand. And so there's a new series on TV, not here in the States. I tried finding it, but RTE is a network in Ireland, and they have this series called Big Life Fixed. And so part of one of the episodes was a bunch of folks got together and engineered a bionic arm for him to row with.
Oops.
So you can see that he's got his arm, it wraps around his chest, and he's out there sculling in an adaptive single. The episode was filmed over a year. There's a whole team of designers, engineers, computer programmers who helped put this thing together for him. So it's pretty exciting for him. If you're in Ireland, the show airs on Wednesdays at 9:35.
And oops. Oh, well, I'm gonna mute you guys until you come on, or somebody can mute them. Anyway.
All right, I got it.
It's all better. So we got a gorgeous what's his name?
Clooney.
George Clooney.
George Clooney.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw this come across. I think everybody's been waiting. You know, when are they going to make the movie for Boys in the Boat? And in this article, apparently the Weinstein Company had the rights to it. So when everything happened there, MGM got the rights to it, and now Clooney is on board to direct it. And the writer for The Revenant, which was a movie, one of Tarantino's movies. So he's actually doing the screen adaptation. We still don't know when it's going to come out, but we know Clooney's on board, and apparently it's moving ahead in production. So that's exciting.
Fantastic. Yeah, there were some people who were skeptical that he was going to do a good job, but I don't know. You know, there's always haters, I guess.
We hope he does a good job. We just got a comment.
Yeah. Oh, what's our comment?
Yeah, that Nancy Mack says that her local club had to cancel an ergata that was scheduled for Saturday as well. I'm assuming because of coronavirus. So I hope it gets better soon.
Well, community rowing is supposed to have their spring bringing everything out activation. They call it the activation sensation on the 14th. So far, that's still going ahead. So I don't know.
Cool.
Anyway, we have another sponsor to talk about. Rebecca Caro, our executive producer at Rowing Chat, has been busy collecting stories from rowers and coaches, which you're going to love reading. They're just like, it's like, rowing snack, in verbal form. It's she's got the 2019 book out now, and you can also pick up the 2017 and 18 ones, which they've all got different stories. And there's some famous names and many from athletes just like you and me. You can check our show notes for purchase links to each volume. And thank you for our sponsors. We could not be on here without you. All right, what do we got? What are these guys? The
Muppets.
The
what
Muppets.
Are the Muppets here for?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just have
I'm gonna pop off so I don't cause any, I don't feel compelled to interject or something.
No comments from Charlotte from this point forward.
Okay, see you in a bit.
So anyways, let me reintroduce Brad Holdren, who is at the Augusta Rowing Club. And Jim Buckaloo, are you technically at the Augusta Rowing Club? You're just kind of everywhere.
I serve on the board of directors of the rowing club, but I'm over at Aiken County Parks and Rec for Langley Pond.
Gotcha, which is just across the border in South Carolina, correct?
Correct.
All right. So you guys are here today for some pretty important stuff. We want to talk about either starting clubs, which you guys helped me do, or growing and sustaining clubs. So Charlotte, if you'll move to the next slide, we're going to start talking about how to grow or save a program. Brad and I were kind of talking earlier and came up with some things that you got to take into account when you're trying to grow or save your program. So Brad, take it away.
Go ahead, Charlotte.
I was just, I thought Shannon was frozen, but she seems to be very much alive.
She holds very still.
Did you all just get my teacher face?
Yeah, when we're talking about growing or revamping a program, one of the most important things is to start with the club history. What caused you to get where you are today? There are tons of different theories on why clubs fail or succeed. And ultimately, I believe it comes down to people. And it's important to get the oral history from the people who are happy with the program, the people who are unhappy with the program. Find out all the angles of the story that you can so you know what you're really starting with.
And so you've got lots of experience sort of coming into clubs and turning them around. I think between the two of you, you've got quite a history, I believe, right?
He's mostly history, yes. One of the first things I tell people is to find a mentor. And if you find a new shiny mentor, they aren't bruised and battered yet. But if you find an old mentor, then they've been around the block a couple of times and they can really, help guide you through the process. I think everybody has something to offer. Everybody has something to contribute when you're starting or growing a club. It's just making sure that you get the right people into the right positions.
Right. I think we actually have a slide of sort of what positions are the key ones that when you come into a program that you're trying to revamp, what is it that you need to be paying attention to?
You've got to pay attention to almost everybody. Key positions are anything from, obviously the head coach of a program is a very key position, but so is the person who cleans the boathouse on a weekly or a monthly basis. You can't overlook or think that one position is more important than the other. You've got to get the right people into the right spots. You have to have the kind of program where you're comfortable talking with everybody in your group, where there's not a lot of bickering and backstabbing, masters rowers. All the masters who are watching, hi, everybody loves you.
They tend to have more opinions than juniors, I believe.
They know how to make their opinions heard better than the juniors do. It's not that the juniors lack for opinion, it's that the adults tend to listen to each other and not to the juniors. And that's one of the important parts is establishing with your club a strategic plan. Like, is your club going to be focused on juniors racing? Is your club going to be focused on catering to the coffee crowd? Is your club going to be focused on winning national championships or club of the year honors from US Rowing? Is your club just simply going to focus on teaching your neighbor how to row a double and the two of you are now a rowing club?
Yeah, I think that's one of the things clubs sort of, the lines blur too much is on competitive versus recreational. You've definitely got people who want to be recreational.
Yep.
And have no interest in competing, and you have to cater to those people if that's your audience. So I think you're totally right about identifying who your clients are.
Yeah, if you have a club that's purely competitive and there are no recreational rowers, even there it becomes somewhat of an unhealthy. There's no balance in the club. You may be able to go win, 17 national championships, but you won't have the support staff to help you run the club and run the regatta because everybody's so busy training and racing. You have to have friends, family, recreational rowers, people to help, keep the lights on at home while you're off winning races. So no club can survive that is strictly competitive or strictly recreational, in my opinion.
I don't disagree. And I think, when we were talking earlier, one of the things that you really highlighted was people. And over when we were talking to people on the podcast, community is essential to anything that you do. And fixing a club, revamping, building a club, it never gets away from that community aspect. You can't ignore it.
Exactly. And that's where Jim comes into play. He is by far the friendlier of the two Muppets. I'm the grouchy one, but he usually sweeps in behind me and fixes all of the problems I've caused by shouting at people. It's his strength, and that's an example of getting people in the right place. Without Jim, I can burn a lot of bridges in a hurry. With Jim's help, I still maintain some friendships where maybe I don't deserve to sometimes.
Well, Jim, what kind of bridges is he burning over there? Let's talk to people about what not to do.
Only the ones that go across the river.
Yeah.
No, excuse me. No, we're not burning any bridges. We just have different approaches to working with different types of people, and we just kind of play off each other and figure out which one needs to talk to who.
Gotcha.
So,
and that's a skill you to bring when you're working in a club. Know who needs to talk to whom.
Yeah.
So
and it comes from, it also comes from the person's background that you're involving. I've been involved with rowing since 1969, which is a lot longer than you've been alive. But dealing with people from that point to this point, you have to learn to give and take, and you have to learn to try to understand perspectives from where are you coming from versus where do I want you to be, and where are you coming from, and oops, those don't match, but we'll figure something out. You have to take a lot of experience into account when you're dealing with a lot of different people. But rebuilding a boat program or rowing program, you have people who had their feelings hurt. You have people who hurt their feelings. You have people who came in one day and decided, I don't need this aggravation, and they walk away, but you want them to come back. So you have to find ways to work with the people around from all the different perspectives.
Well, and that's one thing, if you've got a club who's lost memberships, what do you do to reach out and get to build that membership back? I think you guys may be experiencing that a bit at Augusta, or am I mistaken on that one?
Oh,
yeah. Number one, the people who care about the club put on their big boy pants, big girl pants, and make a phone call and invite the person back, and then talk with them one-on-one, one-on-two, two-on-one, whatever, to find out what sent them away from in the beginning. And then we try to figure out what would bring them back. Mm-hmm. That type of thing is what we've actually had to work with.
Okay.
Yeah, or in some cases, do we want them back? Because in some cases, it's a good separation. In some cases, we need those people back, and it's a lot of kissing hands and shaking babies and politicking and taking people out to meals and just trying to get an understanding of what went wrong to a club that once had 300 members and now is down to 87. Did anything go wrong, or did we forget to recruit, and did we just let the membership grow older and age out, and we forgot to replenish them with younger members, which is what I believe happened here in Augusta. We just didn't keep recruiting the newer, younger members. So we're working on correcting that and growing the club back up again.
And that's all part of having that long-term plan. Not only how do we fix it for this year, but how do we make it sustainable and ongoing? I think that's one thing that, I look at my brand new club. That's something I have to contemplate years down the road. You can't forget about what to do in the future.
Right.
And speaking of my little club, you guys want to move on to what it's like to start a whole new club?
Sure.
All right.
We just kick back and watch Shannon do all the work. That's
no. But I mean, you guys were such a huge help to me. I mean, in more ways than one, with this silly little idea of bringing a club to a high school. And I know you started so many clubs. So when someone comes to you or a different mentor about, hey, I want to do this thing, how do you get them started? Where do they go?
Do you want to go?
The first thing you got to do is say, where's your water? Seriously, that if you don't have water, it's a little tougher to row. So we look around. You had taken care of that work when we came to see you. You already had a site you liked, but people can look in their communities and find places like that. There are reservoirs, or there are state parks that have either rivers or lakes. There are county parks, like what I have is Langley Pond, and that's how we were discovered. It was a piece of just a big forested area with a pond in the middle of it, and it turned into a pretty nice little rowing venue. Augusta uses that. Augusta's lucky. They have a river right here that's public access. A lot of places
When it's
have
not flooded.
when it's not flooded. Yeah. Oh, you can have access. You just get soaked up to the top of your head. But if you have water available, and probably Shannon, you do it. Anyone who's been in rowing, you're driving across country and you drive across a body of water. You look and say, wonder if I could row there. It's first
Every
thing
time.
everybody does it. And I think that's the thing, is you got to identify, do you have a body of water to which you can get access? There are some places that pretty tough to do it, but if you open enough doors, knock on enough doors, you might hit the right person to start a conversation about getting on their body of water. And then one of the nice things about the rowing community is we're essentially good environmental people. So we take care of a site if someone lets us in. We don't leave trash, we don't pollute, we don't cut down their trees, we don't do all sorts of things that can be offensive to people who had a setting they liked and they've let you come in. So
Right.
you do that. You also, I'll let Brad go. Right now you need water. Water is number one.
Well, and more concrete decisions to be made. Is it public? Is it private? Like Brad was talking about, what are the costs involved? Is it you get free access? You got to do some research.
I've seen clubs start off of a tree behind somebody's bar. I've seen clubs start in state parks. I've heard of colleges that have gone in and built a boathouse in a state park and then said, oh, by the way, can we do this? And the park didn't say tear it down, so they continued to operate.
Oh, wow.
I've seen a lot of weird things happen in the sport.
There's a program in Florida that started in someone's backyard.
Yeah.
Their child wanted to row. They were on a body of water, so they just made it accessible for their team to come over after school, park on the yard, go down to the water, and go row. And that's where they started.
Yep.
Then they were
Those are things you can do in Florida.
Yeah.
And it's also been done just north of Atlanta. There's a young lady I know rows out of her backyard, and she gives lessons out of her backyard in her own little private world of rowing.
Wow.
And she doesn't have to have a major club, but she has rowing going on, and she's just doing it out of her backyard. So
that's
if you
awesome.
can find access to the water, there's a lot of things you can do.
Well, and I think, water is obviously key, but sort of the scary thing that most people think of when they think of rowing is all that equipment is so expensive. So, and this is one of the biggest challenges why I think we don't see rowing in more places is all the equipment is expensive. And Brad, I think you're a master at sourcing equipment.
Expensive and fragile. And if you're willing to roll up your sleeves, repairing the equipment is not particularly difficult. It's just time consuming. It takes a lot of effort and energy and time. But you can get some good bargains on equipment. We're going to be starting up a program soon where we've been buying old Dorigos for pennies on the dollar. And we're going to start going out to conferences of schools and try and get rowing started at a whole conference at a time. We don't think that's ever been tried before, so we'll see if that works or not.
I'm sure you'll make it happen.
We'll figure it out one step at a time.
Right. So we got a couple more minutes to chat, but I think the last sort of key element in our triad here is safety. That's always the biggest concern when we're messing with adults or kids or really anyone in water, even if you're secure enough in water. Brad, explain to everyone what you need to think about safety-wise.
Everything. It's the most overlooked problem when people are trying to start a club. People are so enthusiastic. Let's get out and start rowing. Let's get out and try this. Even if you're operating out of your backyard, hey, I want someone to come and try this. Let's go out in a double. Did you find out if they could swim? Do you have a plan for if your boat overturns? And the seasoned rowers, those of us who've been in it for a while, say, oh, that'd never happen. I'll be in the boat with them. It'll be fine. And I'm sure you're guilty of doing it too. I did it also as a coach, but but you can overlook just common sense safety guidelines, and nothing will kill a club faster than an accident. I mean, it'll kill a career, it'll kill a startup club, it'll kill an established club if safety guidelines aren't being followed. And US Rowing has a great resource on that. They can, guide you. Sometimes I think they go overboard, but again, it's hard to say there's no such thing as being too safe and then complain that some of their steps are annoying. Well,
Right.
sometimes annoying is necessary to be safe.
They are there for a reason.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So guys, thank you so much for joining us today. I just love chatting with you guys about all things clubby.
Well,
so
you're
fun.
not too far away, so you're welcome to come down for lunch anytime.
And listen, I'm going to come back for breakfast. That spot we went to last year was amazing.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Moon Cafe.
Yeah,
Well, you
it's
guys
great. Little plug.
Stop talking about food, man. I've got all I have is
Lunchtime.
my Girl Scout cookies here.
Oh,
Yeah.
Living
Charlotte
off
wins.
the- I know, I win. I just wanted to make sure that we got in our invitation to people to send in the news about their rowing club, and that includes you guys, Brad and Jim. We would love to cover news. It doesn't matter how random it is, or how small, or how big, or how many challenges you have. We just want to hear from people out there doing the rowing. Just going out day after day and tell us what your news is. If you have a fundraiser, a new hire, or a job opportunity, or something
Right.
like that. And
Put the social in social media.
And Shannon, we hate gadgets, don't we?
Detest gadgets.
I live for gadgets. I live
literally
for
just-
rowing gadgets.
I submitted an order to NK about an hour ago. So yeah, I hate gadgets.
I hate them.
But
Anyway,
if anyone out there is testing out some gadgets or some new gear, we want to hear about that too. Charlotte is probably going to be the first one to take something and run with it if you give her a suggestion. So let us
I
know
love
if
it.
we have
I love it.
we got a form for you to fill out. Speaking of gadgets, Charlotte, do we
yeah, that-
have
and
a
that-
winner?
Yes, just a second. Let me get it. Keep talking. Keep talking.
Charlotte is giving away an oar-inspired camera mount. So I'm very jealous because I feel like since I'm on this thing, I can't enter to win. But one very, very lucky person is getting some pretty cool swag. As soon as Charlotte finds it, they used to be one of our sponsors. It's a really cool tripod. It sits on your boat. It holds basically any camera.
Yeah.
And you get some amazing feedback. Do you guys use anything like that, Brad, when you're out rowing? Your kids are rowing, your adult?
I have not yet. When I was coaching at Eastern Michigan University, we had some good systems. We haven't put the money into it here yet.
Well, this is about $100 or 80 sometimes if they have a special, but this is Oar Inspired. They're one of our sponsors from last year, and they're actually been entered in our inaugural membership of our Customer Service Hall of Fame because they did such a good job sending out a spare part, and they sent, along with the spare part, they sent a new unit, and then they sent another new unit. So, because it was slow in coming. But anyway, we have someone who won this.
And he knows that he won it. You already spilled the beans, Charlotte. Dang. And he's on right now, and he just commented. He's very excited. So thank you, Andres, for
Andres
listening.
Carrazzo, yeah, he's a volunteer at Philadelphia City Rowing, which we profiled in our
Awesome.
Black
Nice.
History Month. And
I know that they will use it.
I know I told him he has to send pictures and stuff. So that's
Yes, I hope
yeah.
so.
So what else we got? We've got sponsors.
We're always thankful for our sponsors, Charlotte. Like you say 1,000 times, we couldn't do it without them. So thank you to Pregal and to Rowing Tales. You guys are awesome.
And we do have openings for new sponsors. So just get a hold of
Absolutely, Charlotte.
me when get a hold of me. I'll take the loot.
Yes, don't
All
get a
right.
hold of me.
Yeah, because
And the thing that everybody's been waiting for, this week's hashtag is hashtag RRUSA, Grow a Club. And that's in honor of Brad and Jim. And thank you again, guys, for joining us. And I think, Charlotte, we can roll on out.
we can roll on out. This is
Thank
me.
you for having us.
Thank you.
You guys are great. I hope you come back because we just barely scratched the surface, I think.
We
And
can talk forever, so
I can
not
tell.
all of it's intelligent, but we can talk forever.
And
We
can-
should do live from the cafe. What is
and
it, the
can-
Blue Moon Cafe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can
Yeah.
people reach you if they? I mean, I don't want to send too much business your way, but or
Yeah, they can go to our website, AugustaRowingClub.org. My phone number's on there. All the club calls go right to my cell phone, so feel free to track us down anytime.
wow, that'd be great because I know there's people out there that have questions about how to, turn their club around or start a new one. And
More
anyway,
than happy to help in any way possible.
Shannon, what do
Man,
we
and-
have coming up next couple weeks?
Well, we are hoping we can get in a Women's History Month spotlight, some more club news. Hopefully, we're going to do some Olympic news and previews if everything's working out. And like we said, next week, we're going to do a special episode with Kieran McCarthy, who wrote Something in the Water about the Skibbereen Boat Club. And I'm super excited about that one. I read that book at a wrestling tournament in 2 days, and it was fabulous.
Nice.
And just before we leave, Charlotte, I have to just say thank you so much to Brad and Jim just for helping our little club get started. Couldn't have done it without you guys. I'm very thankful, and so are my kids.
Anytime, anything we can do.
All you gotta do
Yeah,
is
I
ask.
mean, the thing is, you have those kids, Shannon, and they may go on just to really get engaged in rowing or some other thing because of their rowing experience.
I hope so. I have one who really doesn't want to take off his uni. We got him this week, and he's like, "This is the most comfortable thing ever." So,
I
if
love.
nothing else,
Is that the picture that you posted?
yeah,
Oh,
literally,
God,
that
was-
kid, he loves them.
Oh, that's
He's been
so
asking
cute.
for it forever.
cute.
So, I've inspired their fashion for the future.
Right. Well, let's wrap it up here. Thanks for all
right.
our listeners, Cassandra, Nancy, Andres. You guys are great, and thank you for being loyal and helping spread the word about Ready Row USA.
All right, goodbye, y'all.
Bye.